How y'all doing, you stud muffins out there? It's 8 Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. Appreciate y'all dropping on by. And today, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought UFOs were not real, if you didn't believe in UFOs, if you think we are alone in this universe that is endless, I got some breaking news for you, man. This video might shatter your reality because this is the most definitive proof that UFOs exist if you needed it. In today's video, we're going to go over the USS Nimitz UFO encounter that took place back about, 2004, 2005, but the documents have recently just been declassified. Some of them we'll get into it, are not declassified, quoting from the US Navy and the government that if all the UFO files were released, they would gravely, quotations again, gravely damage US national security. So, buckle up. You don't even need a tinfoil hat for this video, boys and girls. You just need to listen up, pay attention, get entertained, smash that like button, subscribe. We're rocking out with our out. Let's roll. Maybe you've seen this footage, maybe you haven't seen this footage, but what we've got here is Navy does confirm this footage is officially released from the Navy, and they have said, yes, this does include unidentified and aerial phenomena. Like, the pilots and the people who were in charge with this were also on Joe Rogan's podcast recently, who talked about it. And bros, I'm telling you, man, this is without doubt some weird stuff. I kind of believed in UFOs beforehand because I personally have been involved with 2 identified flying object situations, but nothing that is as, I guess, provable, documented through video evidence, documented through actual, eyewitness reports and the reports by the Navy pilots. But really quick, what we're going to do here, I'll give you a rundown if you don't know what happened. It's like cliff notes, and then we'll get into the actual topics, watch the video, and get into, the actual word from the Navy itself and what they're doing about it and how they don't really want to talk about it because it could, like I said, in quotations, gravely damage U.S. national security. So off the coast of San Diego, the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier and the Navy were running, I guess, war games, sort of. They're doing tests and doing dogfights and doing, usual U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. military service kind of stuff, staying, prepped, staying prepared, and doing what they do. And during this training exercise, U.S. Navy, U.S. pilots aboard F-16s, I believe it was, fighter jets, happened to run into a tic-tac shaped weird UFO, alien ship, man, according to the U.S. Navy, unidentified. Not sure what it was, but it reacted like nothing else that has ever been invented. It defied the laws of physics, and even further so, to make it even stranger, my friends, is that it was actively blocking radar of the USS Nimitz, of the planes. It was moving at this ridiculous speeds, dropping 600 meters in a matter of seconds. That would, it's not physically possible. We don't have ships or planes or any kind of anything that could do that. But like I said, it was actively blocking radar because it seemed like it was messing with the pilots. We got the video footage and the chatter from the U.S. Navy here. We've got mystery men who confiscated the data recordings from the actual planes and the people involved. We have the actual release here, new information from the U.S. Navy about the USS Nimitz and how they can't really talk about it. It is absolutely bananas. First of all, let's watch the video here of the U.S. Navy has confirmed these videos include footage of identified aerial phenomena, and let's just get into more of it and get into more about how they can't talk about it, and just dive a little deeper. The U.S. Navy has confirmed these videos include footage of identified aerial phenomena. Yes, the object appears dark against the bright daytime sky and is clearly oblong-shaped. WSO changes the image back to infrared mode and then resets zoom to 1. The sensor either breaks lock on the object or the object shifts rapidly. The sensor rapidly regains lock. WSO changes zoom several times. The object suddenly and instantly accelerates to the left. Boom, gone.
Dude, this is a drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
Yeah, drones moving at that speed.
We're
Okay.
going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is an LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing. It's rotating.
Well, there it goes. There it goes. You see it? Go flying by. Gone. Look, there it is.
Roger. There's troubleshooting. Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at that, man. Look at the fly.
So that's all the footage that they're willing to release about the object. Like I said, the pilots and the people involved in that day were on the Joe Rogan podcast, and the guy said, like I said at the beginning of this video, was actively blocking radar, was moving at speeds that were just inconsistent with anything that any Air Force or anything that's ever, any plane that we have, nothing in this world could move at the speeds it was moving and do the maneuvers it was doing. And even to add more and weird to it as well, the USS Nimitz UFO, this thing here as well, is that the USS Nimitz and the people in charge on that aircraft carrier way out off the coast of San Diego, they had been tracking these things for days beforehand and didn't notify the pilots that, hey, out there's these things flying around, man, we don't know what they are. But they had actually, been trying to look into them, but like I said, they're actively blocking radar unless you have the actual F-16 fighter planes WSO, which I'm not really sure is. I'm not a huge military buff, to be honest with you guys, but I guess they're, cameras that they have on board that can track objects. That's the only way they could keep track of them. They had to see them in person because, like I said, after a while they started actively blocking radar. So what does that? What is going on? And then, as we see here, top secret UFO files could gravely, like I keep saying, damage U.S. national security for least Navy says. Like the Navy says, actually, it could gravely damage U.S. national security for least. Like, okay, the truth is out there, but you're still not allowed to see it. In November 2004, civil U.S. Navy pilots stationed aboard the USS Nimitz encountered a tic-tac-shaped UFO darting and dashing over the Pacific Ocean in apparent defiance of the laws of physics. Navy officials dubbed the strange craft an unidentified aerial phenomenon, but they have remained mum on what exactly that phenomenon could have been. Now, unsurprisingly to anyone who's ever considered making a hat out of tinfoil, the military has confirmed they know more than they're letting on. Like, this isn't like some kind of Infowars.net, oh my god, the sea truth is out there, X-Files, be bogus websites, right? Like, this is actual, reputable reporting, okay? Not them saying Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. In response to a Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) request, a spokesperson from the Navy's Office of Naval Intelligence confirmed that the agency possesses several top-secret documents and at least one classified video pertaining to the 2004 UFO encounter Vice reported. Well, there you go, Vice. Bunch of SJWs, but, they're not lying about this, I hope. According to the ONI spokesperson, these documents were either labeled secret or top secret by the agencies that provided them, and that sharing the information with the public, quote, would cause exceptional, grave damage to the national security of the United States. These top-secret files included several briefing slides about the incidents provided to the ONI by an unnamed agency. Because ONI officials did not classify the slides personally, they were unable to declassify them, the spokesperson added. And it's like a catch-22. The ONI has admitted to possessing at least one video of unknown length, classified as secret by the Naval Air Systems Command, Navarre. ONI didn't reveal whether this footage is the same 1-minute video that was leaked online in 2007 and widely released by the New York Times in 2017. However, in November 2019, several naval officers who witnessed the incident aboard the Nimitz told popular mechanics that they had seen a much longer video of the encounter that was between 8 and 10 minutes long. Okay, now see, they're showing you like stuff that's like probably from a long distance away. Now, these original recordings were promptly collected and erased by unknown individuals, which is, verified right here. Mystery men confiscate data recordings, who arrived on the ship by helicopter shortly after the incident, one officer said. Like, this is something out of a movie, man. Like, if you aren't like thinking some wacky stuff is going going on? Like, what in the actual hell is happening? Like Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar, you know who Bob Lazar is? The guy who apparently worked at Area 51 and tried to reverse engineer, UFO intelligence from the New Mexico UFO crash. And worked at the Jet Propulsion laboratories in New Mexico. If you don't know about that story, definitely go watch the movie. It's on Amazon Prime, I believe. Probably find it for free anywhere, download it. He was also on Joe Rogan's podcast. And he was saying that this is all happening. So maybe they reversed engineered some UFO, freaking spaceship technology, and that might be what's actually, would cause grave and, massive damage to the national security, because maybe this was them testing it out there. I don't know, but that would make no sense, because why would they test it when there's pilots out there in the middle of the daytime when they're doing active training out there? So that wouldn't make sense either. But the funny thing about Bob Lazar, on a random tangent here, but not really related to UFOs, they try to say he never worked at Area 51 and he never worked at the Jet Propulsion System at the New Mexico Jet Propulsion Laboratories, which is funny because if you go and watch that movie as well, and on the Joe Rogan podcast, there is like a list from back in the 80s or 70s when he worked there, apparently, that shows, people, a directory of employees, and he's on that directory of employees. But they denied him being there. And it's like, it slipped through the crack. It's like an old, employee directory. So anyways, that's kind of weird. So anyways, continuing on here. Louis Elizondo, a former Pentagon staffer who helped make the Navy video public, told Vice that people should not be surprised by the revelation that other videos exist, and at greater length. The FOI request, submitted in October 2019 by an independent researcher, asked for access to any non-classified records or portions of records regarding the 2004 UFO encounter. No additional documents were mentioned in the ONI's response besides the classified briefing and video. And then once again here, it just goes into more information about the mystery man that they mentioned here, that the pilots mentioned, who basically, took all their stuff, all their data, telemetry data, all the, stuff that had to do with tracking the 40-foot tic-tac shaped identified flying object. So it's a tic-tac, but it's 40 feet long. 40 feet, dude. That's a pretty substantial sized spacecraft, you know what I mean? Like, what the heck? And a tic-tac shape. And listen, man, if you didn't believe UFOs existed before this, I don't know, man. Something funny's going on. This is the most definitive proof that I've ever seen. But there's also the Japan Airlines Flight 1628 incident, which was a Federal Express cargo plane that was flying over Alaska. That is one of the craziest things as well. That doesn't have any video evidence, but Japanese pilots and all the pilots all said they saw something. I know this is about the USS Nimitz, but this one too, if you haven't looked into this, I might talk about this in another video. But the Japan Airlines Flight 1628 was a UFO incident that occurred on November 17th, 1986, involving a Japanese Boeing 747. The aircraft was en route from Paris to Narita International Airport near Tokyo with a cargo of Beaujolais wine. On their radiovac to Anchorage section of the flight at 1711 over eastern Alaska, the crew first witnessed two identified objects to their left. These abruptly rose from below and closed in to escort the aircraft. Each had two rectangular arrays of what appeared to be glowing nozzles of thrusters. Though their bodies remained obscured by darkness, when closest, the aircraft's cabin was lit up and the captain could feel their heat on his face. The two craft departed before a third, much larger dish-shaped period started trailing them. Anchorage Air Traffic Control obliged and requested an oncoming United Airlines flight to confirm the identified traffic, but when it did, and a military craft cited Japan Flight 1628 about blah blah blah. No other craft could be distinguished. The sighting lasted 50 minutes and in the vicinity of Mount Denali. But also, as well here, if you get into it, like I said, we're not getting into it, but this plane that they saw was also picked up on NORAD's and has been verified that it was picked up on NORAD's radar. It was picked up and it was confirmed by NORAD, and there's released documents on that, and there's also the conversation between air traffic control, NORAD, and this plane, and how they're asking NORAD if anyone is out there doing any kind of war games or any kind of tests going on or any other military exercise that could be taking place. And NORAD's like, no, we have nothing scheduled. We don't know what that is. But the USS Nimitz is probably some of the most confirmed information, video, and also witnesses and pilots that show that, man, something is definitely out there. I mean, like I told you beginning of the video as well, I already believed. I've had 2 instances myself with UFOs down in Utah and the Arizona deserts. The first one was down in Utah when I was staying down there at my parents' place. They have a summer home down in the middle of nowhere where there's like the population of the town is like 110 people, no joke. And I was sitting on the balcony around sunset, dusk, just hanging out in the summertime. And we have a view of Capitol Reef National Park. If anyone's familiar with Utah and the park system down there, it's sort of like Grand Canyon kind of stuff, New Mexico, Sedona, those kind of red rock formations. Anyways, and I'm sitting there on my balcony and I'm just chilling out, and I look out towards the park over the canyons, which is, maybe like 10, 20 miles away, and I notice this really bright light, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is that? There's this really bright object out there. And I'm like, is that a star? What is going on, man? That's really weird. Like, that's very strange. Like, hey, Dad, I called my dad. He was inside. Like, Dad, come on out. Get out here. Like, bring some binoculars. There's this weird light out there. What the hell is that, man? Is that a planet or the moon? Like, what the hell? And there's this really bright light out there, and we're looking at it, and we're trying to look through the binoculars and get focus. And then all of a sudden, you hear like this, like the fighter jets, airplanes flying, and you hear them coming from behind us, and they fly like right over top, not like, low, but probably at 20, 30,000 feet, but fighter jets, you can tell they're not, commercial jets, you can tell a difference, and they just fly right over, they fly, and as they come over, the thing that we saw out there in the middle of the desert goes and gone, like you just see like a trail, like it's just like as if it just went like light speed, hit like warp drive, Captain Zulu, and off it goes. It's just gone. And then the fighter jets, you can see come lower, and you see them go out to exactly where that spot was out in the middle of the desert, and they sort of circle around, and they just sort of disappear back where they came from. Like, what the hell was that? So that's my first encounter with a UFO. The second one was when I was in the Sonora Desert in Arizona when I was a kid camping with my parents in the summertime, and we're down there, and we're like the only people out in this valley in the desert, Sonora Valley Desert. It's like, it's a valley with 2 mountain kind of ridges on the side, and we're in the middle of it in the campground. There's no one else in the campground, and it's just, pitch black. We're out with the fire, and we're sitting, and we're looking down the valley, and we're like, holy crow, and you see these lights coming, like, sort of like a 3 or weird, like the typical 3 light kind of UFO thing, and we're watching it coming down. And it's at the very far end of the valley, and it's getting closer and closer, and we're listening, and we're out in the middle of the desert. Anyone's been out in the desert, it's like, dude, your ears ring. It's so quiet. You can hear your own head humming, for God's sakes. So we see it coming up closer, and no engine, nothing, there's lights, and it's just hugging the side of the right-hand side of the valley if we're facing towards it, and it's just hugging the side of the mountain, just floating along, and just cruising along, and it's no noise, no engines, no nothing, no thrusters, and it's coming closer, and it's coming closer, like, look at your, like, holy shit, like, what the hell? And it's coming closer, and then it just goes right over the top of us, and we're looking up at it, man, and I'm thinking, like, God, it's gonna be like, encounters with the third kind, it's gonna suck us up with a tractor beam or something, and it goes right over top of us, not a single noise, nothing. We're trying to look at it, and it's probably about, 1,000, 2,000 feet above us, hugging the side of this mountain range, sort of low mountain range beside us, and it goes right over the top. We're nothing, we can't see any kind of like shapes too, we just see this, like, the lights, and it goes right over us, and then up over the top, like this, like as if it was just like right over the top of the valley, over the side of the mountain, and disappears. And then we're like, holy crow. The next day, we looked at the papers of the town, the nearest town there, and there had been sightings all around Arizona, all through the southwest there. Everyone talking about seeing this UFO. We weren't the only people. So those are my encounters. And then you put stuff together, man. I don't know. It's like Fox Mulder and Dana Scully needs to get back on the freaking case. So, hey, man, hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, like I said, I do kind of stuff like this, YouTube news, drama, exposing people, conspiracy theories kind of shit. So if you're into that, subscribe, smash that like button. I'm 8 Thoughts. Appreciate you all dropping on by. And last but not least, and most importantly, my friends, stay black. Not the honk shift to believe in movies, hard spring, chemtrails, and other logical tries, some between all flat news, fake knowledge, but thirst for the fog's gay. The coronavirus is a biological weapon that was made in a lab in China. It is also spliced with AIDS, apparently now, according to the Indian doctors. White men, bring it down. Take care. Peace out.